Bonjour tout le monde. Je suis heureuse de vous enseigner le français aujourd'hui. Look at this sentence. Do you know which preposition to use? Do I use de or a? Well, before I let you know, why don't we find out? Welcome back. Je suis Sumolua, votre professeur de français. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here, thank you so much for clicking this video to learn today. Now, which is the correct answer? Should it be Je suis heureuse de vous enseigner le français aujourd'hui? Or should it be Je suis heureuse à vous enseigner le français aujourd'hui? Exactly. The correct answer is Je suis heureuse de vous enseigner le français aujourd'hui, which is I am happy to teach you French today. You see, in the French language, when we use adjectives like heureux, content, triste, followed by a verb, we use de plus infinitive. Why? Well, just like I always say, you can't really ask why. There's often no logical explanation. You just need to memorize these patterns. That's the best thing you can do. French prepositions are incredibly challenging, even more so than the English ones. And so in today's beautiful lesson, we're going to tackle the most common and trickiest French prepositions through a fun quiz format. I have prepared 30 questions for you divided into 3 levels. Beginner level, 10 questions. Intermediate level, 10 questions, and advanced level, 10 questions. For each question, I'll give you time to think of your answer, and then I would explain in detail with plenty of examples. Oh, and before we get started, do not forget to grab your free PDF of today's lesson. All you need to do is input your name and email address in the link in the description box below, and today's free PDF will be sent directly to your inbox. This way, you can take your time to go over everything we covered today at your own pace. Question 1. Je vais l'école. Is it A, B, or C? The answer is A, le. Je vais à l'école. Now, why is this the answer? We use aller à for destinations. So, je vais à l'école means I go to school or I am going to school. The verb aller is almost always followed by a when we're talking about going somewhere. So, think of it this way. Wherever you're going, use a. For example, je vais au cinéma. Je vais à Paris. Je vais au restaurant. Je vais à la plage. Je vais à l'église. A quick one. Do you also notice how a combines with articles? So a plus le is equals to e. A plus les is equals to e. But a plus la stays at a la. And a plus l apostrophe stays at a l apostrophe. Question 2. Il habite Paris. Which is the correct option? Perfect. It is also a. Il habite à Paris. For cities, we always use à. And so, il habite à Paris means he lives in Paris. This is just a fundamental rule in French geography prepositions. So here's the pattern. For cities, we use à. So for example, j'habite à Londres. Elle habite à Tokyo. Nous habitons à New York. Do you see? But wait, I'm sure like, okay, wait, Sumo. What about countries? What do we use for countries? Countries use different prepositions. They use un for feminine countries. For example, je vis en France, en Italie, en Espagne. Or they can use e for masculine country. Je vis au Canada, au Japon, au Brésil. And e for plural countries. Je vis aux États-Unis, aux Pays-Bas. So please, please, please remember this pattern and you would never forget the geographical prepositions. Question 3. Le livre est la table. Which is the correct option? So, did you look at the picture? Where is the book? The answer is A. Le livre est sur la table. Sur means on or on top of. And so, le livre est sur la table means the book is on the table, just like the picture showed us. This really helps test your understanding of position prepositions, which are really crucial in daily life. It's used all the time. Let me give you more examples of position prepositions. Sur, le livre est sur la table. Sur, le chat est sur la table. Dans, les clés sont dans le tiroir. Devant, je suis devant la maison. Derrière, le jardin est derrière la maison. So do you understand better? Why don't you go ahead and just practice with the objects around you? For example, your phone. Where is your phone? Is it sur la table? dans votre poche ou sur un livre. Question 4. Je pars vacances. Which is the correct option? The correct answer is A. This is because we say parti en vacances. This is just a fixed expression in French language meaning to go on vacation. And so you really cannot change this. It's always en vacances and never pour vacances or maybe even vacances. No. Think of en vacances like on vacation in English. It's not really logical, right? But we say it's like I would say, okay, Sumo is going on vacation, like on vacation. But it makes sense to us in English, so it should make sense in French. French has many fixed expressions with en. So for example, partir en week-end, être en colère, être en retard, être en avance. These expressions, I'm so sorry, they don't follow logic. You just have to memorize them. I remember the first time I learned this word, je suis en train de, and I was so confused, guys, because I kept thinking, I'm in the train of what? I'm in the train of what? It wasn't until much later when I could say, oh, it's just like saying, if somebody asks me, what are you doing? I'm reading. Instead of saying je lis, I just say je suis en train de lire un livre. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Exactement. Question 5. Nous mangions midi. Which is the correct option? Bravo. It is A. And so, nous mangeons à midi means we eat at noon. This is just the golden rule for time expressions in French. So here's how it works. À plus specific time. Je me lève à 7 heures. Le film commence à 20h30. Nous nous couchons à minuit. J'ai rendez-vous à 15 heures. But you also have to be careful because we also say le matin, l'après-midi, le soir, but à midi ou à minuit. Why? Because midi and minuit are specific points in time, while matin, après-midi, soir are periods of time. D'accord? The next one, elle travaille lundi, vendredi. Which are the correct prepositions? The answer is C, du and e. So du, lundi, vendredi means Monday to Friday, like the working days. We use du and with days of the week to show a time range. So here's a complete pattern. Du lundi au vendredi. Du matin au soir. Du 1er au 31 janvier. This structure is used for time ranges with masculine nouns. But please watch out for feminine nouns because we say de la semaine à la semaine or de l'année à l'année. And also you can say elle travaille à 9h à 17h. And here we use de à because we're talking about specific times, not days. Okay? The next one, j'ai peur chien. Which is the correct option? Correct. It is A. J'ai peur des chiens. This is because avoir peur de means to be afraid of. And so the sentence means I am afraid of dogs. The de here is de plus les. And this is because here we need the preposition de plus the plural article les. So this is just part of a large family of expressions with avoir. All right. For examples, we have, like I just taught you, avoir peur de, avoir besoin de, avoir envie de, avoir l'habitude de, avoir honte de. So more examples are j'ai besoin d'aide, elle a envie de chocolat, nous avons l'habitude de nous lever tôt, il a honte de ses erreurs. So did you notice something? Did you see how de becomes the apostrophe before a vowel and also de before plural nouns with consonants? Please, you need to take notice of these. This helps your preposition. The next one, le chat, la fenêtre. Please take a look at the picture and pick the right option. You need to look at the image here to pick the right option. Exactly. The answer is B, près de. Le chat est près de la fenêtre. And this is because the preposition près de means near or close to. And what does that mean? The cat is near the window. Sorry, I'm pointing because my window is right here. Near the window. So I know we had looked at, some other position prepositions, but let me teach you more of them. Loin de. Le chat est loin de la porte. Entre. Le chat est entre les deux chaises. À côté de. Le chat est à côté de moi. Devant. Le chat est devant la télé. Derrière. Le chat est derrière le canapé. These prepositions are really essential for describing where things are. So you can just practice by describing your room. So for example, I can say, où est votre ordinateur? So practice, look around your room and say where it is with these prepositions. Il est sur le bureau. Okay, maybe that's where your laptop is. Or, où sont vos chaussures? Maybe elles sont près de la porte. Or finally, où est votre téléphone? Ah, il est à côté de moi. The next one, and this should be bonus for you because I've said the answer earlier on. Je viens Espagne, which is the correct option. Yep, je viens d'Espagne. That's the answer. And this just means I come from Spain. Spain in the French language is l'Espagne, it's feminine. And this means we use de plus elision, which then becomes the apostrophe because Espagne starts with a vowel, okay? That's why I said d'Espagne. So here's a pattern for coming from places. Vernis, venir de plus place. So with countries, you can say je viens de France or je viens du Canada or je viens des États-Unis or je viens d'Italie. With cities, it's always de. Je viens de Paris, je viens de Londres, je viens de Tokyo. The key, guys, is to know whether the country name is masculine, feminine, or plural. It's very important. Examples of feminine countries are la France, l'Espagne, l'Italie, la Chine, and masculine countries, le Canada, le Japon, le Brésil, le Mexique, and we have plural countries, les États-Unis, les Pays-Bas. So remember, you need to know the gender of the country. Number 10, we've gotten to the end of the beginner level. Rendezvous, 3 heures. Which is the correct option? Exactly. The answer is A. Rendezvous à 3 heures. And this just means like you have an appointment at 3 o'clock. Just like I taught you in question 5, we use à for specific times. Let me just reinforce this time rules with more examples for you, okay? Le cours commence à 9 heures. Le magasin ferme à 18 heures. Nous nous retrouvons à 14h30. J'ai faim à midi. But you have to be careful with dans, and I'll show you. Dans is used for in. So that's like future time. For example, je pars dans 5 minutes. Le film commence dans 1 heure. So à is at a specific time and dans is in or after a period of time. Great job completing the beginner level. How many did you get? Before we move to the intermediate questions, I just wanted to remind you about your free PDF download. If you haven't already, go to the link in the description box below, put in your name, email address, and today's PDF will be sent directly to your inbox. It includes all the 30 questions for today, detailed explanations, so perfect for reviewing and practicing much later when you're free. Now let's challenge ourselves with some intermediate prepositions. Question 11. Je rêve mes vacances. Which is the correct option? The answer is B. And this is because rêver de means to dream about. So, je rêve de mes vacances means I dream about my vacation. Please remember, this is another verb that requires de. That preposition, it always requires de. You cannot change it. Many French verbs related to thinking, feeling, or mental activities always use de. So, for example, parler de, se souvenir de, oublier de, décider de, refuser de, accepter de. And the last one I can think of is penser à. I know it has to do with thinking, but that uses as. That's like an exception, okay? Because you may say now, oh, Sumo said many of the verbs. Like I said, many of the verbs, but penser à is different. That's the exception. So some sample sentences. Je parle souvent de mon travail. Elle se souvient de son enfance. Nous avons décidé de partir. Il refuse de m'aider. But take a look at this sentence. Remember? Je pense à toi. This is different. So we can never say je pense de toi. It's je pense à toi. The next one, il est fort mathématique. Which is the correct option? Exactly. It is A, which is il est fort en mathématiques. Être fort en means to be good at. or to be strong in, which is why il est fort en mathématiques means he is good at mathematics. In French, we use un with school subjects, the areas of knowledge. So that preposition is very important for you to remember, please. More examples with different school subjects are elle est forte en français. Je suis faible en histoire. Nous sommes excellents en anglais. Ils sont nuls en chimie. Yeah, just like I was. I didn't even do chemistry actually. I wasn't even in science class. You can also use être bon or bon nom. Let me show you. Je suis bon en informatique. Elle est bon en musique. Okay? And just to help you further, the opposite would be être mauvaise ou mauvaise en. So I can say elle est mauvaise en géographie. Okay? The next question. Cette robe me va bien. Je la prends 50 euros. Which is the correct option? Correct. It is B. Pour. Je la prends pour 50 euros. This is because prends quelque chose pour prix means to take something for a price, okay? And so, je la prends pour 50 euros means I'll take it for 50 euros. This is how we express prices when making purchases in French. So let's take a look at some more shopping expressions with pour. Je l'achète pour 20 euros. Il vend sa voiture pour 5 000 euros. Cette maison coûte 300 000, mais je l'achèterai pour 250 000. You can also say ça coûte combien? C'est à combien? Quel est le prix? They all work. And to negotiate, you can say est-ce que vous pouvez faire un prix? It just might work. Question 14. Mon avis, ce film est excellent. Which is the correct option? The answer is A. Bravo. This is because à mon avis means in my opinion. And this is the most common way to express yourself in French. And so this means à mon avis, ce film est excellent. And this means, in my opinion, this movie is excellent. So other opinion expressions, we have tons of them. So some others are selon moi, d'après moi, pour moi, à mes yeux, personnellement. So for example, I could say selon moi, il a raison. Pour moi, c'est impossible. Personnellement, je préfère le thé. You can also say je pense que, je crois que, il me semble que, j'ai l'impression de. All of these work to just talk about your opinion. The next one, je me suis habitué. Vivre seul. Which is the correct option? The correct answer is B. This is because the phrase s'habituer à means to get used to. And this just means I got used to living alone. Je me suis habitué à vivre seul. When followed by a verb, à is always used before the infinitive. So some other reflexive verbs followed by the preposition à are, I know that was a mouthful, right? S'intéresser à, se préparer à, s'attendre à, se décider à, s'amuser à. So for example, I could say, elle s'intéresse à la politique. Nous nous préparons à partir. Je m'attends à réussir. Il s'amuse à jouer aux cartes. So remember this pattern. Reflexive pronoun plus verb plus à plus infinitive or noun. The next one, merci, ton aide. Which is the correct option? Yep, it is A. Pour. Merci pour ton aide. This is because merci pour plus the noun means thank you for something. Okay? Merci pour ton aide. Thank you for your help. That's the something you're thanking me for. Also, merci pour is more commonly used than merci de, followed by a noun. Okay? So some other examples, I can say merci pour le cadeau, merci pour votre patience, merci pour tout, merci pour cette soirée magnifique. But when you're using merci de, you use it plus an infinitive. So for example, merci de m'avoir aidé. Or, merci de votre compréhension. In summary, merci pour is generally used for nouns and merci de is used with infinitives. But in everyday speech, merci pour can be used more broadly and is perfectly acceptable. The next one, elle ressemble beaucoup sa mère. Which is the correct option? Perfect. The answer is A. ressemble à. And this just means to look like or resemble. Elle ressemble à sa mère. So that sentence just means she looks a lot like her mother. Please note this is a fixed verb construction that can never be changed. That preposition just goes along with it, with ressembler, okay? Ressemble à. Some other examples to help you are tu ressembles à ton père. Cette maison ressemble à un château. Son écriture ressemble à la mienne. Ça ressemble à quoi? Please, some students have made this mistake. Do not confuse this with être comme. It's not the same. So if I wanted to say elle est comme sa mère, that's different. Elle est comme sa mère. This means you're referring to her personality or her behavior, okay? Versus when you actually say, elle ressemble à sa mère. This means you're referring to her physical appearance, so she looks like her mother, all right? The next one, je préfère le thé café, which is the correct option. Exactly. The answer is B. That's the answer. So the correct structure will be préfère quelque chose à quelque chose. Je préfère le thé café. And like I said earlier, O is a contraction of a plus le, which gives us e. So please remember this preposition. It's very key. You can never say a le. No, it'll be e. Some other examples are elle préfère la mer à la montagne. Nous préférons l'été à l'hiver. Il préfère travailler à s'amuser. Or I can also ask, vous préférez la cuisine française à la cuisine italienne? The next one, nous partons 3 jours. Which is the correct option? Yep, bravo, you got it. It is A. Nous partons dans 3 jours. Remember I've taught you this earlier? Dans plus time expression is equals to in. So you're talking about when something will happen in the future. Nous partons dans 3 jours means we're leaving in 3 days. So more examples with dans. Le film commence dans 10 minutes. Je reviens dans 1 heure. Nous nous marions dans 6 mois. Les vacances commencent dans 2 semaines. Please do not confuse with pour 3 jours. This means for 3 days. And you're talking about the duration, okay? What I mean is if I say nous partons pour 3 jours, this means we're going away for 3 days, okay? That means the trip lasts 3 days. But remember the example I gave was we're leaving in 3 days. That is different. And so, dans 3 jours means when you leave, but pour 3 jours means how long you'll be away for. These prepositions can be tricky. Remember I said so in the beginning? The next one, il s'intéresse beaucoup, histoire, which is the correct option? Yeah, the correct answer is B. This is because the verb s'intéresser à means to be interested in. This is a reflexive construction, guys, and it always uses the preposition à. And so the sentence would be, il s'intéresse à l'histoire. He is interested in history. So let's look at some more examples with s'intéresser à. Je m'intéresse à la politique. Elle s'intéresse aux sciences. Nous nous intéressons à l'art moderne. Tu t'intéresses à quoi? So please just remember, a plus le is equals to e. A plus les is equals to e. But a plus la or a plus l apostrophe stay the same. And finally, we're at the advanced level, okay? Let me know in the comment section how many you've gotten thus far. Did you get everything in the beginner level? Everything in intermediate? It means, wow, your preposition skills are amazing. Ses efforts, il a raté son examen. Which is the correct option? Exactly. It is A. Malgré ses efforts, il a raté son examen. This is because malgré ses efforts means despite his efforts. And so malgré is often used with nouns to express contrast or opposition. And so it's most times followed by a noun or phrase. Let's look at some examples. Malgré la pluie, nous sommes sortis. Malgré son âge, elle est très active. Malgré le bruit, j'ai bien dormi. But I know you might also ask, but somewhat of en dépit de, that isn't that also correct? It is, and it means the same thing, but malgré is more commonly used. Bien que, on the other hand, needs the subjunctive and a complete clause. And so even if I said, bien qu'il ait fait des efforts, il a raté son examen, it's different. That just means although he made the efforts, he still failed his exam. So please be aware of these prepositions. Faute temps, nous ne pourrons pas finir. Which is the correct option? That's right. The answer is A. Faute de temps. Okay. Faute de is a formal expression of for lack of or due to a lack of. And so faute de temps means for lack of time. Okay. It explains a reason or limitation that prevents an action from happening. And so de is the only correct preposition in this phrase. Par or pour are incorrect here because they don't express absence or shortage. So some examples are faute d'argent, je ne peux pas voyager. Faute de preuve, il a été acquitté. Faute de participants, le cours est annulé. Faute de mieux, nous acceptons cette solution. The next one, il a agi bon foi. Which is the correct option? Exactly, the answer is A. Agir en bonne foi means to act in good faith. This is a fixed formal expression used in legal or moral context to really indicate honest intentions. The preposition en is often used to express a state, condition, or manner of doing something, especially in abstract or emotional contexts. And so let's just take a look at more expressions with en so you can understand how this preposition really works. En colère, en vain, en secret, en silence, en sécurité, en bonne santé, en mauvais état. So some examples with sentences. Il agit en bonne foi. Nous avons cherché en vain. Elle travaille en secret. Il marche en silence. So please note, while avec bonne foi might seem logical in the English language, it's not correct in French, please. The correct idiomatic form is always en bonne foi. The next one. Que je sache, il n'est pas encore arrivé. Which is the correct option? Yeah, you got it. The answer is A. This is because autant que je sache means as far as I know. This is a formal expression used to indicate that you're speaking based on your current knowledge and often introduces uncertainty, okay? It uses the subjunctive sache from savoir. I know on that topic, right? Which is just typical in expressions of doubt or uncertainty. You can also say pour autant que je sache, but autant que je sache is more common and slightly less formal. So some examples are autant que je sache, la réunion est à 14 heures. Pour autant que je sache, il n'y a pas de problème. À ma connaissance, c'est la première fois. Si mes souvenirs sont bons, il habite à Marseille. The next one, cette décision va l'encontre de nos principes. Which is the correct option? The answer is A. And this is because aller à l'encontre means to go against or to be contrary to. And so the phrase cette décision va à l'encontre de nos principes just means this decision goes against our principles. This, guys, is a fixed formal expression. So let's take a look at more examples using this particular preposition in some formal contexts. Son comportement va à l'encontre des règles. Cette loi va à l'encontre de la Constitution. Vos actions vont à l'encontre de vos paroles. Other similar expressions are être contraire à, se peser à, être en contradiction avec. And so these are just all formal ways to express opposition or conflict. The next one, ce qui me concerne, je suis d'accord. Which is the correct option? Exactly, the correct answer is A. En ce qui me concerne means as far as I'm concerned. This is a standard, most natural way to give your personal opinion or viewpoint in French. So like you're really just using to express a personal stance or position. And so the phrase means as far as I'm concerned, I agree. Please do not confuse en ce qui concerne without the me, because this means regarding or concerning. and it's often used in formal writing. So for example, en ce qui concerne votre demande, or en ce qui concerne le projet. Look at these sentences. En ce qui me concerne, je préfère partie 2. Do you see what it means? But look at this other sentence. En ce qui nous concerne, nous acceptons, or en ce qui te concerne, tu es libre. While pour ce qui me concerne can technically appear in French, it's rare and less idiomatic than en ce qui me concerne, which is widely accepted and expected in both spoken and written French. The next one, il faut agir fonction des circonstances, which is the correct option. Yay! The answer is B. En fonction de means according to or based on. And so, agir en fonction des circonstances means to act according to the circumstances. It's a formal and commonly used expression to describe actions that depend on changing factors. So, for example, I can say, les prix varient en fonction de la demande. Nous déciderons en fonction du temps. Votre salaire sera fixé en fonction de votre expérience. All right? Some other expressions are selon, d'après, suivant, and they all mean according to or depending on, but they're used in slightly different contexts. So please remember that only en fonction de fits naturally in this sentence structure. The next one, long de sa carrière, il n'a jamais abandonné, which is the correct option. Yep, the answer is C. Tout au long de means throughout or all along when you're referring to a time period. And so, tout au long de sa carrière means throughout his career. And so this expression just emphasizes that something happened consistently over the entire duration. So we use it with periods like la vie, l'année, les études, la carrière. So some other examples are tout au long de sa vie, elle a été généreuse. Tout au long du film, j'ai ri. Tout au long de l'année, nous travaillons. Tout au long de ses études, il a été brillant. Please note, you cannot say le long de sa carrière because le long only applies to the physical space. So for example, le long de la rivière. This just means along the river, not time expressions, okay? The next one, elle a réussi sa persévérance, which is the correct option. Yeah, the answer is C. This is because grâce à means thanks to or because of, but in a positive way, okay? So, elle a réussi grâce à ses persévérances means she succeeded thanks to her perseverance or she succeeded because of her perseverance. Please note this is the most natural and commonly used expression or preposition in this context. I wouldn't say parce que, no. So let's look at more examples with grâce à, because even my students tell me, so sometimes, what do you mean? Should I say grâce à? Should I say à cause de? Should I say parce que? Let me show you how to use grâce à. Grâce à ton aide, j'ai fini à temps. Grâce à ses efforts, il a obtenu le poste. Grâce à la technologie, tout est plus facile. Grâce à vous, nous avons réussi. So did you notice the difference? Grâce à is used for positive causes, while à cause de is used for negative causes, like because of. So example, I can say à cause de la pluie, le match est annulé. So you see, because of the rain, the match is cancelled. It's like, that's why it's cancelled. So it's not a good thing. The next one, qu'il en soit, nous devons continuer, which is the correct option. If you said A, you got it. Quoi qu'il en soit means be that as it may, anyway, or in any case. This is a very formal, sophisticated expression meaning regardless of what happens or no matter what. It's really used to conclude a discussion or move on despite any uncertainties. Quoi qu'il en soit, il faut prendre une décision. Or, quoi qu'il en soit, nous partons demain. Do you see? Please don't confuse it with quoique. Quoi qu'il soit tard, nous continuons. Or even quelque. For example, quelle que soit votre décision. Wow! Félicitations! You've completed all 30 questions of this French preposition quiz. Wow. Tell me, how do you feel? Please don't forget, like I told you, in the comment section below, tell me what your scores were. Trust me, I know how tricky prepositions are. And even me, I am still learning daily. I may sometimes make mistakes, I correct myself, and we move. So if you do not get everything, do not feel bad, okay? Just remember, French prepositions are like puzzle pieces. Each verb, adjective, or expression has its own specific preposition partner. Please do not try to translate directly from English. Instead, learn these combinations as complete units, okay? Before I let you go take a break, because I know that was a lot, do not forget you can download today's free PDF. All you need to do is input your name and email address in the link in the description box below, and today's lesson will be sent directly to your inbox. You get all the 30 questions with the detailed explanations so you can review and practice everything we've covered today. I have also included in the PDF a lovely story using some of these prepositions so you can see what it's like if you're reading it. So please download the PDF. So please read the story in the PDF. There is also a mini quiz just to help you practice more. If you loved today's video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel. Subscribe and share with others who would love to understand French prepositions more. Thank you so much for watching today's lesson, and until I see you in the next video, bonne journée!